Oh, me? Hi, everyone. This is Ravon Unfiltered, an update episode to see what has been going on this past year where I have kind of dropped from the scene, and I'm sorry about that. But hey, that's what happens. It's life. So to give you an update, I'm just going to let you know after we recorded episode 4, a lot transpired. I was currently traveling in Africa and we were in Ethiopia, and I technically, how can I put this, financially was held hostage in Ethiopia because the government wanted to charge us for every day that we were there since January, even though we extended our visas, had proof, used the correct channels, spoke to the correct people, had the stamps and everything. Unfortunately, when it came to the actual process of how they handled us, they decided to go ahead and charge us for each single day. So as much as we wanted to avoid it in order to leave the country without dealing with being detained, and I currently was pregnant, I had to cough up all the money and we had to deal with all of that while I was pregnant. So I found out I was pregnant in March. In January, we were good for 6 months based off of what the paperwork for our extension. So in May, we found out that we were not in good standing with the immigration. And it ended up being a really bad headache and a horrible experience for me, all while dealing with being attacked by a parasite. My first trimester of my pregnancy, we're dealing with me not being able to hold down any food. I'm completely unwell, can't get out of the bed, saying prayers, hoping that I can make it through, because at that time, the parasite was there for at least a couple of months. This was not your normal stomach flu or food poisoning, so we did try the raw meat, which, I like on my steak medium rare or medium, but not the cow slapped and cut and handed to me. I don't do that. So, unfortunately, I did what the locals do, and that caused me some horrible issues, and I would never suggest that to anyone. My body has not built up the antibodies like the locals have there to ingest that. So this is going to be a very brief version of the longer version of what actually happened, because that's a whole episode long. So while I was dealing with that pregnancy, going back and forth to immigration, for about 3 months, we exited on June, went to Kenya, was dealing with my pregnancy, trying to find a midwife, and going from Airbnb to house because we were trying to lock in a long-term rental or some property, but we dealt with some very shady people that saw foreigners, and it's like, that's a bag, let's try to get money instead of trying to actually do good business. So because of that, we end up not having a good stay. And in the process, we finally, at the very end, found a couple of good people to work with. It was the same thing with Ethiopia. Everything was kind of shaky. And then when we went through the roughness of dealing with people and trying to figure our way out, at the end, we ended up finding some good people. Like my assistant, shout out to Arsema. She was there with me from day one. She was my only assistant from December all the way up. And I end up keeping her all the way until the day I left. She cried when I got on the airplane to go to Kenya, and I really wanted her to get her passport so she can travel the world. But Ethiopia gives their own people a hard time to do things, let alone foreigners to do things. So with all of that being said, I end up going through a lot from the time I recorded that episode in episode 4 in April, all the way up until I ended up getting rushed to the hospital. Well, I went to the hospital for a checkup, and I was preparing to have my baby by the ocean on the Kenya shore in Malindi. But what ended up happening is I went for a checkup because my blood pressure was way too high. I felt unwell the day before. And then when they checked, my blood pressure was too low. And they said, let's run some tests. So I'm just sitting there having a good day, supposedly. And the next thing I know, hours later, the guy comes in there, looks and looks at me like there's something wrong with his face. And I was like, what's wrong with your face? Every time you come here, we talk, we laugh, we chat. You tell me you're going to draw some blood, you're going to run some tests. Things are only going to take a little bit of time. Don't worry about it. So I'm just sitting there. If you know you're about to have your last meal, at least prepare me. I didn't get a chance to get the steak I wanted. And believe me, every time I asked for a steak, it was never no real ribeye. It was some cut of some meat. I don't even know if it was horse, donkey, maybe steak here and there. I don't know. Chuck, not ribeye, not tenderloin, none of that. So yeah, girl couldn't even get a good meal. And there were some good places in Kenya that have some good food now. But I was not prepared because early that morning, I went to one hospital to get checked. And they were like, nothing's wrong. So my midwife told me to come to her hospital. She said, something's off. You had a bad night before. Let's check you. So they checked me. And when the guy's coming in with this weird looking face, he's like, hey, so we either have to do a cesarean section right now, or we may lose you and the baby. I said, excuse me? You have to do what? This is insane. I've had 5 other children, never had a cesarean section, and I've been fine. I've had other issues. Yes, I have hypertension, preeclampsia, all of that, but never had to do this. So I cried. I called my mom, my mother-in-law, and I was trying to ask both of them who have had cesareans, should I do this? I think these people are lying to me. I'm scared. I'm in a place far away from everyone. On my support system, when it comes to the lady factors, are not there. My husband's there. My midwife is there. My 16-year-old is here. My 2-year-old is here. But the other people that have experienced this C-section, especially on the emergency side, as a woman, you kind of would want to cling to your mother, someone who's really close to you. So I cried and I said, fine, save my baby. Do whatever needs to be done. We got everything. They told us they would not do the surgery without payment first. Here I am again, throwing another curveball, and I'm still expected to hit it out the park. I don't know how in the world this was going to happen this way. But I prayed and I said, okay, fine, let's do it. I had a lot of doubt. I did not trust a lot. I did not believe in anything that they were saying, but I do believe that the Most High has a reason for things. So I just said, fine, let's go ahead and do it. So I go in and I get the surgery. My heart drops from what I'm told because the situation was the word. My heart took a decline, just ended up having issues. So with me already having heart problems, having emergency surgery, putting a lot of stress on my body, already having issues the day before, preeclampsia, blah, blah, blah. My heart takes a full dip. They had to give me some stuff to bring me back. The baby is born. He's preemie by a month, and he's only 5 pounds and some change. Instead of being 7, 8 pounds, which was like my last child, she was 8, almost 9 pounds. So with all of that going on, I had to go through that, get stitched up. It took them a minute because there was some stuff going on. There's some complications. Then they finally stitched me up. I'm going now to the bed. I see my son. Then we get placed into a room that I'm sharing, which is fine with me. I don't care about that part. We're just in the bed. The worst is supposedly over. So he's making this breathing noise. I thought he was just every time he breathed. And my midwife assistant said something is wrong. So he did that all night. She came to check on me in the morning. She saw that. She said, something's wrong. So you mean to tell me all night when people came to check on you, they heard him breathing like that and they didn't say anything? She's like, this is crazy. Let me go ahead and get the doctor's attention. Doctor, come here. Doctor comes in. His SpO2, his saturation for the oxygen into his lungs was at 43%. Anyone who's medical profession, the SpO2 needs to be at 95 or higher. He was at 43. and drop it. So we get rushed into the emergency to another hospital where we're now in ICU. I'm sitting in a plastic chair for 8 days, praying over my son, praying that his oxygen levels come back up, watching women and children pass to the other side of life. They don't make it. And instead of you having a room to yourself, healing, and just going through the 2-day process of going home after you have a baby, maybe 3 to 4 after a cesarean section, I went from having a cesarean section and rushed to another hospital, watching my son getting air tubes put into his nose, praying that he makes it through. And then imagine a medical ward full of beds. So there's not rooms. There's just this one open space where there's sorry about that. There's this one open space where there is about 10 beds. And to each bed, there's 2 to 3 infants on that bed, getting care, either getting oxygen, getting fed by tubes, whatever the ICU seriousness of their situation, they're all sharing one bed. And then the mothers are sitting in the plastic chairs that you use on a front porch, and it's just all plastic and it's hard. That's the chairs that the mothers were sitting in all day and night, watching over their children. And I was one of those women with my child at the bed, sitting in the plastic chair right after surgery, watching my child, watching him breathe, making sure he's okay. It took 7 days for him to get to a level of breathing on his own and above 95%. When he finally got to 100%, I remember taking a picture of the monitor thing and just so excited. And I wanted to leave there so fast. So during this time, I didn't get any sleep. If I did, I slept in that upright position in the chair with my legs hanging down and my head on the bed. And then when I did fall asleep, I kept jumping up. And just because I think one time when I did fall asleep, his oxygen dropped really low. So then I never wanted to sleep again until I knew we were out of there. So even after we checked out after the 7th, 8th day, my legs were so swollen. I had busted some stitches. I had to get restitched. I had some issues with my scar and my opening. It was just a lot. It was a lot. So the reason why I was not on my podcast, being active, doing the social media stuff, and I still have moments time to time where I have to readjust myself mentally, emotionally, physically, is I just have to heal from the PTSD that situation has caused. I'm very happy, and sometimes I feel like this is all a dream. We're here because there were moments where I was not going to be here and he was not going to be here. But God made a way because it was all about glorifying him at the end of the day and us making it through. So that's my testimony. That's my catching up to you guys. My apology for being gone for so long. But my goal now is to post every week. I already have 4 more episodes for you guys, and I'm recording some more. I will be releasing them every Friday, 1 episode at 12 midnight on Friday. If you are a Patreon member, you get it the day before. If you are a VIP member, you get all of the episodes as soon as I'm done editing them, which I'll be done editing 6, 7, and 8, and 9 this Saturday coming, which will be Saturday what is Saturday? Let me see. Gotta look at the calendar, y'all. Saturday the 25th, which is my brother-in-law's birthday, and maybe other people's birthday that is listening in. Happy birthday to everyone on the January 25th. So yeah, if you're a VIP member, you will be able to receive all of the episodes for a membership. It's a good thing that I feel like I should do for you guys. And every time I'm done editing, I'll drop it in there weeks before it even hit YouTube and actually goes on the free side of my Patreon. So please join me. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. But that's what your girl went through. So that's my little story. I know it's pretty long-winded. It's very, very long. I gave you a very short version, like I gave you a trailer. So imagine a 20-minute trailer that's probably for a 5-hour movie. So yeah, I have a lot to be thankful for. I am very blessed and I have no regrets. I just am very thankful for everything. Every experience that I went through in Ethiopia was necessary. Every experience I went through in Kenya was necessary. Every experience I'm going through now is necessary. I don't feel like anything just happens for nothing. It's to help build someone's character, to make them stronger, to help them see a different perspective, to help them with the learning curve. So all of these moments was necessary, and I learned a lot from them. And again, I'm just thankful to be here. So I have some things for you guys. I have a segment that we're going to be doing, which is called Trauma Dump. And with Trauma Dump, the guest, and depending on the subsection, the first subsection is family issues. So you can come, or I will have guests come and speak about the family issues that they have dealt with and the experiences that they have. So they can kind of dump the trauma. We talk about it and we leave it here and we let it go. Hopefully you can hear a different perspective of these people's lives and their family issues and be like, oh, that's interesting. Or I've been through that. Man, you could have did this. You could have did that. Just to help us heal. And then if you would like to be a part of the show, you can always email me at ravonunfiltered@gmail.com. You can always message me at all of my social media platforms. All of my handles should be Ravon Unfiltered or Ravon_Unfiltered. You can contact me on all of my messages. I will try to reach out to every single one of them. I'm very responsive. Unless I just can't be responsive at that moment, then I will make sure I make time to go through my messages at least within that week. I won't leave you hanging. So I think that's all I have for you guys today. I may do a little more of these little storytelling moments. This was just a lot that I had to throw at you guys. I feel like I owed you an explanation and a little bit of what I went through. So it was very serious. It wasn't something that, oh, I just don't feel like it. Because everyone has those moments. I don't feel like doing this. I don't feel like doing that. I don't even feel like recording this. I've been avoiding this conversation for the past month or two. My son is 2 months old. I was supposed to do this like right after I got done. Emotionally, I was not there. Physically, I was not there. Today was one of those days was like, I don't feel like it, but let me do it. I have the time. I have the microphone. I have the setup. Let me go ahead and get it done. So that's it. Thank you so much for tuning in to Ravon Unfiltered Updates here with your girl Ravon. If you like this type of feel and this vibe where you get to just listen in and see what's going on and get little updates, I might give you some more. Drop some in the comments. Let me know how you feel and I will holler back at you. Other than that, thank you so much for tuning in. Have a blessed day, week, month, year, and I want nothing but the best for you guys. Have a good one. Thank you for tuning in to Ravon Unfiltered. Have a wonderful day, and thank you so much for watching Ravon Unfiltered.